United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
It's a humble idea. Use a biological process to turn a plant into a power source. From that idea came the first Poet refinery. One biorefinery in one town turned into 27 facilities in 27 towns, creating new local jobs, producing hundreds of millions of gallons of ethanol, and providing renewable products around the world. Suddenly, that one little idea seems a whole lot bigger. See the world differently with Poet.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country today, and with me is Chris Turner. We're out here in beautiful Waynesfield, Ohio, taking a look around in the heart of ag country in west central Ohio. And Chris, before we get started today, give us a little bit of background about yourself and how you kind of ended up in the business that you ended up in.
Wow, that's a good story. I was reared on a farm, of course, and so went to Ohio State University. In the ag business and ag ed program, ended up teaching school, and in that process, kind of opened some doors to do a little agriculture work, farming, spray applications, those types of things. So that's how it kind of all got started. Our family has got some opportunities in this area, so I had uncles and aunts and stuff that would help, and dads and parents and grandpas and whatever else. So yeah.
Well, that's, as myself, we grew up on a farm, raised on a farm, and agriculture runs deep in your roots, and it's part of your thread, right? It's part of what you do and what you think about when you get up in the morning a lot of times. So we're out here to talk about Turner Green, and so give us a little bit of background about what Turner Green does and things like that for the local ag producers, and how you help local farmers be as efficient as possible.
Well, Turner Green started in the lawn business, actually. So we were a lawn maintenance company. It was a good fit for me. So we took care of vegetation control. We sprayed, we mowed, we did all those things, and then come the idea that, hey, there's a need also in the area maybe to apply some products on the fields. We were licensed, insured, and et cetera. So we just rolled that into the agriculture business. And so, our employees have really helped the situation. My wife works in the program. So it allowed it to grow while I could still teach school and do some other things. But yeah, it's just a long time venture that we just kind of keep adding things to assist people, whether it be fixing their tile or spray their fields or whatever. So,
well, your main business is, obviously, I shouldn't say your main business, but a lot of what you do is custom application of herbicides and those kind of things. But you guys also do some custom 28 application, for example.
Oh yeah, my oldest son Lee. Side dresses corn for people all the time. Yeah, and we carry the 28 here, so it's an easy access to. And so, but we try to stay in this area. So for that reason, it's close for us, and it's easily accomplished, or not easily accomplished all the time, but somewhat easily accomplished. How's that sound?
Well, it's been a challenge, most certainly. Agriculture in itself is a challenge, and sometimes certain periods of time and certain years are more challenging than others.
Yeah, and I think, that's one reason that we like to be diversified. There's a lot of times that we can't applicate, so we can go applicate dry fertilizer on a yard, or we can do some services for the local school, or a commercial account, whatever it may be, but it keeps us us active, and also keeps a little cash flow coming in. Yeah, so that's always good.
Well, so we're talking about things you can do when the weather's nice, but you also offer a lot of services for when the snow's blowing.
Yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, as Mitch, Lee, Candace, my wife, sometimes the 2 in the mornings, the 1 in the mornings aren't as much fun, or the 18 hours in the skid loader. But it's also kind of a good little gig, and once again, it keeps you hopping. So. And then we partner, of course, with a lot of people, and one of our great partners has been SVolvo. I mean, we started out with a couple dump trucks from them, and then we needed some ability to haul some grain and to also move some water around, and so we partnered on a semi. And then that led to a purchase of a semi. So that's been an evolution, and I always laugh at Todd, because Todd always says, well, hey, Chris, you're probably the only semi you'll ever buy. So that's one of my top goals, right? Is to buy another semi off of Todd or Joe Brown or whoever's over there selling them that day. So, yeah.
Chris, you mentioned early on that you've taught school, and particularly been in ag education. Give us a little bit of background or your thoughts on how important that program is, even for maybe the kids that are not necessarily raised on a farm but want to pursue agricultural careers.
Yeah, I think the ag programs are essential in my eyes, of course, but it's a hands-on process most of the time. And then of course there are a lot of the classwork and bookwork and et cetera. I found it very helpful too to work in the agriculture sector and teach the agriculture sector, because it makes it a lot easier for me especially. But Ron Brown and I have been at Wapak for Ron's been there way longer than I have, but for 25 years I've been at Wapak and at a FFA and or FFA to high school, and it's been very good. A lot of students, not everyone goes into the agriculture sector, but it's tough for people to understand agriculture a lot of times, because not everybody's involved in it. And so if you can get a brief understanding of it at the high school level, then it becomes much easier maybe to go to the meat market or the local farm stand, or even to grow your own garden. And so we have gardens there. We have a greenhouse there. We actually farm 64 acres. Ron directed an approach to build a new livestock building. It's pretty exciting up there right now. They've got almost every pen is full. I mean, well, I wouldn't say every pen, but it's a full building. And I've got some pictures the other night when we were up there practicing, showing, and so on. And so, but kids really find it easier to learn if they've got their own pig, if they have to clean their own pen, if they have to feed their own pigs, they have to make decisions about if he's not walking right, what's wrong with him. How do I change his gait? How do I clean him? How do I clip him? Those types of things. And man, it's kind of turned into one of those things that the older students, or maybe the 2-year student that's been there with the pigs, helps direct the younger student. And so it becomes a student on student thing that builds a friendship also amongst kids, and an activity that's really neat, and hopefully where they can maybe earn some money doing it.
Well, so all three of my boys, you actually were the instructor for all three of my young men now, and they learned a lot with that program, prepared them for college, and so they've all graduated from college. I'm getting old, but they've all graduated from college, and so what they learned in that program also prepared them for that next chapter as well.
Yeah, and it's not just Ron and I by any means. I mean, there's students that are great students, great families, and also administration that just supports the program. And it's from the assistant principal all the way up to the superintendent to our board members, because none of that gets done. And don't forget about our treasurer. I mean, none of that stuff gets done unless you have that support. It's a very team approach.
Well, yeah, I've personally been involved with the young farmers and FFA alumni for, this is my 40th class reunion is coming up this year. So I've been involved helping as a support for the kids in the program for the last 40 years. So, I see it firsthand. And as a business owner and as a farmer, I see the value in that ag education program, not only to prepare them for that, but to teach leadership skills as well.
Yeah, and talk about the work and the effort, for our young farmer sale and our consignment sale, and all the people that help with that. Gosh, that I'd mentioned several names, but I'd forget someone. So, but what a great bunch of people that's also how the barn gets approached. That's also how we gain some machinery. We have some Bobcats up there, and a tractor, a couple little tractors they can drive, but I think the technology part of it, students today grab easily. I think more the hands-on part of it is a little tougher now than what it was years ago, because you don't have that access to the hands-on. So I think the approach to the agriculture sector, the technology, they're gonna master pretty easily. It's if we can make good decisions and do the right things at the right time, and also possibly even the concern of operating equipment safely, so we don't have those accidents, et cetera, on the farm or at the facility or whatever. So yeah.
Chris, agriculture is one of the leading, if not the number one industry, most certainly in Ohio and for the United States. And so with less and less farmers and less kids coming off the farm, this is where ag education and that program becomes really, really important.
You're exactly right. It's hard to take a farm, a person who's been reared on the farm, and teach him all those things, or her all those things in 4 years of high school education. But you can definitely bring them to a lot of bring them to the table to a lot of things that are going on in agriculture, and they can realize that agriculture is a huge business. Agriculture is very important, and also an idea that, hey, they can also, if they have a basic understanding, they can tell their neighbor, in the future, maybe about what's going on out there around their house, or what's going on outside in the farm world. So I think you're right. I mean, ag ed programs are one of the things that probably need to be understood by more people, if that makes sense, I guess. So, and I'm not saying it's not. In this area, we probably have a better understanding than anyone. I think that's probably the key. But if you get out of the area, sometimes it's not as understanding. It really isn't. So,
Chris, if somebody wanted more information about Turner Green, how can they do that?
Well, you can call me at 419-236-8518. We have a Facebook page. Candace maintains that Facebook page, and all the contact information is on that Facebook page too. So, so you can talk to Mitch, Lee, Brandon, Holly, any of those people, and that's probably the best way to do so.
Well, Chris, thanks for being with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.
SVolvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory.
Sinus problems and headaches? Have a sneaking suspicion there's mold lurking about? With over 20 years in business, you can trust the professionals at EarthSafe Ozone. They will test, inspect, and treat your home or office, eliminating mold, mildew, fungus, and bacteria. It's time to put an end to pesky mold. Call 419-227-0303 to schedule your mold spore test today.
Wrap it up with a new Anderson bale wrapper from Apple Farm Service. Protect your hay from Mother Nature with Anderson's lineup of single bale wrappers and inline wrappers. Wrap small, square, large square, and round bales to keep hay fresh in the dead of winter. Trust the experts in bale wrapping. Anderson, available at your local Apple Farm Service. Stop in to learn more about the lineup of Anderson bale wrappers at Apple Farm Service.
Closed captioning paid for in part by the following. Are you looking to buy or sell farmland? Then work with a company that works for you. Ron Spencer Real Estate. Founded in 1975, Ron Spencer specializes in farmland, agricultural, and commercial real estate. Check him out on the web with 3 locations to serve you. Ron Spencer Real Estate at rsre.com. That's rsre.com.
With us now is Mitch Owen. And Mitch, before we really get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a little bit of your background?
Yeah, I grew up in Walpock, in town actually, but I almost immediately, once I got into high school through the ag program, I was able to find a job through that and worked on a dairy farm for a couple years, and then through FFA and all that stuff, showing calves, which fair was one of the best weeks of the summer. I was able to then take that, go to Wilmington College, and then I took an ag business degree, and that basically spiraled me into being able to make it back here to Turner Green.
Mitch, tell us what you do here at Turner Green and how you help out the customers here with their ag needs.
Okay. Well, I came to Chris probably 4 years ago, looking for an opportunity. He was kind enough to take me in, and when we did that, it was Chris kind of wanted to have a projection of what we could do and accomplish. So since then, I ran a sprayer that fall, and since then, that's my main goal around here is to make sure I take care of that aspect of it. But since then, we've also taken on a seed dealership, and between going and talking to some customers and trying to make some sales, and / just being the guy that goes out there, and when you're in the sprayer, you're the one that sees part of the fields that farmers don't even get to see. So that's probably what makes me enjoy it the most, is I'm able to take that, translate that back into what, communicating with the customers that we have here. So between that and then, I also do a majority of the lawn care that Chris spoke about earlier in the interview. Between that and then also the snow removal. Those are the things that basically keep me busy throughout the year around here.
Well, Mitch, you made a comment about how when you're going out across the field and how you add value to the farmer customers. You want to go into a little bit more detail about what you see and how you're adding value for those folks?
It'd be one of them that so many farmers can only get across so many acres, and they can only walk so much. And being in the sprayer, I cover every single inch of that ground. So if there's something that I can see or something that I can give value to, how's it look out there? It's just something I can translate back to that farmer, and then hopefully translate to better yields, which makes the farmer more money, which is all what we're about here is at Turner Green, is trying to make sure that we're doing the things right so that the farmer can benefit to its fullest. I've worked for other companies in the past, and one thing that's made me enjoy working for Chris over anything else that I've done since college would be, that he's truly taught me on making sure that, one, you take your time and to make sure that you always do what's best for the customer, not to do it just to do it. It's always to make sure that you're putting the right effort to the right thing, even to the smallest details of making sure you take care of your machine the right way, because the machine's the one that goes out there every single day. You treat it right, it's going to treat you right. Little things like that along the way that have taught me a lot just in the 4 or 5 years that I've worked for Chris that, you may have taken for granted somewhere else.
Mitch, we talked earlier about technology, and when I do interviews with a lot of folks at ag providers, we're always talking about technology. Talk about how you use technology here at Turner Green to make the customer experience better.
It's just in about everything that we cover now. It's all it's in all the sprayers, it's in the planters, it's in the tractors that we use for all of that stuff. I would say the biggest thing with technology that I would take away is it's all about trying to make the farmer as efficient as possible. So in that, that way our machines, they have automatic shut-offs, so every time you come to the end, it shuts off immediately. It's basically so you're not overusing product and you're not overcharging the farmer for just about anything, so you don't have damages done in the field, and it's all about efficiency.
Well, Mitch, thanks for taking time and being with us this morning.
Well, thank you very much, Alan.
We'll be back with more right after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
I'm Terry McClure, a fifth-generation soybean farmer. Farming can be tough, but we have the Ohio Soybean Council investing farmers' dollars to find new uses for soybeans. Their research helps develop better beans for livestock, poultry, and for people. It also helps create new products like soy-based cleaning supplies and paint cartridges, plus cleaner-burning soy biodiesel. Soybeans are Ohio's #1 agricultural export. To learn more, visit soyohio.org.
United Equity, Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
Hello once again, everybody. We're visiting with Kent Holmes, the marketing manager at Apple Farm Services. Kent, we've talked about Farmer's Edge and how it ties in with what you do here at Apple Farm Service with precision agriculture. Mm-hmm. How is that making things more profitable for the farmer?
Sure. Well, we've always had the capability where we are already a precision. We can make sure that your tractor runs straight. We can make sure while you're planting that you're planting where you want to plant, that if you're using more than one hybrid, if you're using prescription, that it plants the way that you the prescription to, or if you're spraying, if you have a map, that it sticks to it. We've had all this data. It's out there. But we haven't had a way to have it put all together. You have some data here, you'd have some data here. You'd almost have to have a college degree to be able to put it together on your own and see what does this mean. Which is why we're excited we have Farmer's Edge, because we can take all this data and put it together. You don't really have to have the agronomist put it together for you. So you can go out there and you can say, from the prescription map that I created, am I using less herbicide than I normally do? Is the map that I have for prescription when you do precision planting, is it how it should be? Am I planting the right hybrid in the right place? So it helps on input costs by using less herbicide, but it also helps on productivity to make sure that the crops that you put in the ground, where they need to be, are there. And then it even helps profitability-wise on scouting.
Now, having that data is important, but oftentimes, if you have the data with this equipment, you can't use it with that equipment. And with what Farmer's Edge offers, it doesn't matter.
Correct. And that's something that we love, and we're so happy that C&H Industrial partnered with Farmer's Edge. Because there's all this data, but you've probably run into it. You have a Mac. It doesn't work on your Windows. You have a Windows. It doesn't work on your Mac. You have to buy adapters, this and that. It's frustrating. Nice thing about Farmer's Edge is that, let's say you have a green tractor. Now, of course, working with Apple Farm Service, we might sneer a little bit that you have that green tractor, but that's fine when it comes to Farmer's Edge. It'll work just fine. You can have a red combine with a green tractor. You could have a green combine with a red tractor. You could even have yellow. It doesn't matter. It all works. So if you're interested in, maybe I want to try a blue tractor, or maybe I want to try a red tractor, but I have a different colored combine, or I want to get a red combine, but will it work with the data I get from my planter? Yes, it will. That's the beauty of it.
And this seems like an excellent way for farmer to farmer to discuss things, and it's not really that complicated to express what kind of experience one farmer has that he can explain to another.
No, it's the display and how the program works. It's so simple. It walks yourself through it very easily. So if you're with one farmer and you're sitting down, you pull out your iPad or you pull out your computer, however you want to look at it. His data looks like this, your data looks like this. You can compare apples to apples, how things are, and maybe you see your farm is doing well here, over here his farm's not doing so well, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're doing right or vice versa, maybe some things you need to look at.
Well, Ken, if we have some viewers right now that are watching and would like to get a little bit more information, what's the best way for them to call you and get that info.
Sure, yeah. And of course, Farmer's Edge is all C&H Case New Holland. You can visit us, Apple Farm Service, applefarmservice.com. You can call any of our stores as well. We're all certified and a reseller of Farmer's Edge with our precision department.
Very good. Kent Holmes, the marketing manager at Apple Farm Service, has been our guest. Kent, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Gary.
Wrap it up with a new Anderson bale wrapper from Apple Farm Service. Protect your hay from Mother Nature with Anderson's lineup of single bale wrappers and inline wrappers. Wrap small, square, large square, and round bales to keep hay fresh in the dead of winter. Trust the experts in bale wrapping. Anderson, available at your local Apple Farm Service. Stop in to learn more about the lineup of Anderson bale wrappers at Apple Farm Service.
Local and family-owned and operated, Provico Farm and Show Supply has been serving the area livestock producers since 1999. With quality products for all your farm and show supply needs, from lawn and garden, livestock equipment, feed and supplements, animal health products, and a full show supply lineup, we have items to meet all your needs. Visit our new location at 225 South Main Street in Botkins.
The Bigger and Better All-Glaze County Fair, where there's fun for the entire family, July 28th through August 3rd. Get your tickets now at Happy Days in Wapakoneta and Beer Barrel in St. Mary's. This year, the family fair will have $15 all-day riding bands. And that's not all. Kids 12 and under free. New attractions in the Midway and the grandstands, including the Cincinnati Circus, mobile glass blowing studio, the Lucas Oil tractor pulls. Don't forget to have a boot-stopping good time and watch the harness racing and iHeartRadio's Talent Showcase. All of this going on just a short drive away in Wapakoneta.
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel and more. You can always check out our website at inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.